Hey, Chris here from Videomaker, and you're watching our review of the Blackmagic Design URSA Mini 4K. In this review, we're going to be covering all of the different aspects of the picture quality of this camera, as well as its form factor and usability. What we're also going to be covering is who this camera is for and who it's not for. And then next, it's a value in the marketplace. And lastly, we're going to just summarize our experience with the camera and would we recommend it or not. But first, I want to show you the footage that we shot with it so that you can get an idea of what this camera can do. So without further ado, here's that montage. So what'd you think? I mean, it looks pretty amazing. This camera does look very nice. Now, we got to use it at NAB 2016. We shot on the convention center floor, we shot on the strip, we shot in all sorts of shooting situations, and well, our experience was quite a bit different than its big brother, the URSA, the full size, the biggin, the 16-pound camera. And so, well, before we get into that, let's take a look at its low light performance. We did a test here in the studio, and well, let's take a look, and when we come back, we'll talk about what you saw. So low light is not the strength of this camera. In fact, we found that anything over 400, well, we wouldn't recommend shooting anything over 400 ISO. 200 was fine, 400 was acceptable, and 800, well, it had a lot of fixed pattern noise. It's just not a low light camera, so either bring a light or shoot outside. I think if you're in controlled situations where we were not, when we were at the Las Vegas Convention Center, well, we were going into some booths at NAB that were really dark to ones that were, well, lighting companies that had plenty of light, or ones that were next to windows. So some of our stuff looked fantastic, other stuff was quite noisy. So it's really important to pay attention to what ISO you're shooting so that, well, your shots turn out right. So let's talk about all the other things that, well, we're not necessarily going to have breakaway tests for. We're just going to show you while I talk to them. So moire, well, not a significant issue. In fact, it just was nothing to be concerned about. Now, sharpness, it performed quite well, and it was really nice having the focus assist. You know, peaking really is key to making sure that your high resolution shots, well, that they're in focus, and that the focus point, what you want to be focused in, is actually in focus. So next, picture profiles. It has both the video and film looks. So in film, obviously, you're going to have more control in post, but it's not going to be ready just to put out there. So if you have a fast turnaround on anything, well, we'd probably recommend shooting in video, picture profile, whereas film, you definitely need to do some grading, but you might have more flexibility, a little more information in the details and the highlights, and that's where you're going to get your most dynamic range. Its dynamic range was fantastic. Absolutely every bit of 12 stops of dynamic range. Well known that the Blackmagic cameras have great dynamic range, especially when shooting raw in film mode. You're most definitely going to have the most flexibility possible. Now, it's different codecs. Well, it shoots in just all sorts of flavors of ProRes, as well as Cinema DNG, RAW, and 3.1. So let's get down to it. Who is this camera for and who is it not for? Well, we can't recommend it for run and gun ENG shooters, not as it's set up right now. Really, if you're gonna use this as an ENG camera, well, you're gonna need to buy some other accessories to make it really have a nice function and form. So if you have controlled situations, and well, maybe if you're used to shooting like, you know, a detachable lens like a DSLR or mirrorless camera, well, this is gonna give you a lot more. You know, it comes with a bigger screen, you have nice inputs, audio inputs, and I mean, let's face it, $3 gets you the body alone. That's the same price as a Sony a7S II. So, you know, you get 4K, you get 4K RAW. Really, Blackmagic is just the king when it comes to value for the camera. But the thing is they have a little bit weird form factor. They absolutely have cameras that have a little bit of flaws in them. They fix them over time, but you know, it's just one of those things where they get a lot of products out very often. So there's always gonna be some shortcomings to the camera. And as it sits here, the way it's set up is $5 So if you are gonna be using it for a certain purpose, it's best to go and see what all the accessories you're gonna need cost to add them to the camera, because really it might blow the budget. If you only have $3,000 to buy for a camera, well, this might not be the one for you. You know, this is the EF mount, so the PL mount is more money, and so are the lenses. So if you have EF mount lenses already, you have Canon lenses, well, awesome, good on you, you're gonna have lenses already. If you're just gonna be shooting in a studio, controlled environments, well, the picture quality is great. One big thing that you should pay attention to is the media is quite expensive. CFast 2.0 cards are not as cheap as SD cards by any means. So if you want a high capacity CFast 2.0 card, you're gonna spend quite a bit more than SD cards. SD cards are just far more affordable, really, but they can't do RAW. You can't be putting this kind of data rate on an SD card. It's just not possible. So it's just really necessary. Is it for ENG shooters? No, but if you have time, that's who it's for. It's really for those people that can mount it on some sticks or have time to light and set up their shot. And well, then you might not need any accessories. It's just ready to go. You will need the battery plate and a battery, which aren't all that cheap depending on where you buy them. Really, that's it as far as who we think it's for. Now, it's value in the marketplace. Well, we already talked about that a little bit, is Blackmagic just gives you a lot of value for your money. They are always giving you really affordable cameras that do cinema options. Now, you know, it's just a video shooter, right? So it's not gonna give you the great high pixel photos, but it does give you time lapse. Kinda, you know, it will take a picture every once in a while and do that for you, so it has an interval, but it's not going to give you long exposure or anything like that. But you have that option, and it does give you a little bit of frame rate options in the 60 FPS there. So that really wraps up our value in the marketplace. So our summary, what do we think? Should you buy this camera? Well, if you shopped it, and you see what else you can get for the money and the needs that are there, the things that this camera can do are gonna, well, it's gonna be a lot more affordable to buy this camera over anything else that does exactly the same thing. Yes, we'd absolutely recommend it. It looks great. It wouldn't be a big pain to use if you are using it in the right situation. In fact, it wasn't hard to use. It's really a simple camera in that respect. So we absolutely would recommend it. If you're looking to buy it and you're on the fence of should I buy it or should I go with something else, well, just always do a value hierarchy of what you're getting for the money. And well, this camera is going to give you a lot for the money, so absolutely we'd recommend it. Is it going to fit everybody? If you have a big budget and you're thinking about buying this, or you know, a Red Raven or something else, you know, that's far higher line, well, if you got the money, go for it. But if you're on a slim budget, well, Blackmagic does a great job bringing you cameras that are affordable. So there you have it. That's our review of the Blackmagic Design URSA Mini 4K. If you'd like to buy this camera and help support us make videos like these, well, there's a link in the description. You go ahead and click on that and you can buy it. As well, there'll be a link for the EVF and the shoulder mount kit. And hey, if you like this shirt, you can buy it too. There'll be a link for it as well. I've been Chris from Videomaker. As always, like, share, and comment. We want to know what you think. And until next time, keep doing the hard work that you do. Bye-bye.